Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Forum Continental Podcast. Today is just me, because the rest of the guys are busy with some stuff, so unfortunately they could not join today's podcast. So let's just dive straight into the games played last night and early morning. So starting off with the first game, Norway versus France, perhaps the most anticipated game in the whole of the you know in the whole of the World Cup, in the group stage at least. But Norway, they weren't really trying to top the group. Like they were just happy to, I believe, make it through to the next round, which is why they benched their main team and started off with the youngsters. And France, obviously, they started their main team. I believe only Saliba was missing from their starting 11, but still, Ousmane Dembele, what a hat trick! And he scored an amazing hat trick in this game against Norway. But if we talk about the game in general, I think Norway still had chances where they could potentially draw the game, like the one penalty Oscar Bob won for Norway, which Strand Larsen put it. You know, it was a poor penalty to be honest, but yeah. So it was quite a big disaster there for Strand Larsen. Was in the first game, if he had scored that, he would have gained a lot of confidence. And secondly, and Norway had a couple of more decent chances as well, which he could not convert. I believe the second who was missed was Berg, and Strand Larsen missed another chance as well. So yeah, these chances that you miss really, compile the pressure on you. And when you're facing a team like France, you definitely don't want to waste the chances you get. Norway didn't finish their chances, and they were punished. But yeah, Norway weren't really looking to win this game as they rested their players for the round of 32 game, and really excited to see how they play against their upcoming opponent in the round of 32. Yeah, moving to the second game of the day, being Senegal versus Iraq. So, once again, Iraq in the first half, they were only down 1-0, and they had one or two breakthroughs where they could maybe convert the chances, but no, but they did not. And in the second half, Senegal just um, started scoring goals on them. It's mostly we see Iraq in the previous two group games. They often do well in the first half, but then in the second half, there's often some goalkeeper mistake or but I don't know what happens. But Iraq really succumbs to the pressure and they just start conceding. Iraq, their goalkeeper was injured. They just took off and half time. The second keeper came in and Senegal put 4 goals past him. Zidane Iqbal, who's been great for Iraq in this World Cup, he made a rare mistake which led to, I believe it was the second or third goal for Senegal. And then Pap Goye, 2 goals and two absolute bangers that he scored. And yeah, Senegal looking quite strong, and their round of 32 opponents won't really have it easy. So yeah, let's move to the third game of the day, we being Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. For this game, I'm gonna say it was perhaps a more even game, maybe. Uh, but yeah, both Saudi Arabia. Uh, I'm not. I'm gonna say that it's been a disappointing performance from them for all in this World Cup because if you look at the games they played against Spain, the game they played against Spain, the goals they conceded, I personally believe were quite avoidable. But yeah, I believe a couple of them came from mistakes and were definitely avoidable from Saudi Arabia, but could not really avoid them, and yeah, they were punished for that. And speaking of Cabo Verde, obviously being the surprise package of the World Cup, first ever World Cup and the smallest team to make it through to the knockout stages, smallest nation to make it to the knockout stages. Yeah, it's definitely a great moment for Capo Verde. And even Capo Verde like had the chance to actually win this game. In the dying minutes, I think they had one or two chances which they could not really convert. But if they had, they would have won the game, and yeah, it would have been absolute scenes. Yeah, Capo Verde has definitely surprised majority of the people here, if not all, majority for sure. But everyone really expected them to knock out in the group stages, but in a group with Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, they definitely surprised us all and made their way through to the knockout stages. So let's move to the fourth game of the day, being Uruguay versus Spain. Uruguay, once again in this whole World Cup, they've been all right. They haven't really, showed a dominant performance. They drew 1-1 against Saudi. They drew 2-2 against Capo Verde, and now they lost 1-0 to Spain. And this goal they scored, which was the goal scored by Alex Baena, was quite savable, perhaps, as Muslera initially made the save, but ball just went into the goal. I mean, so if Muslera like put a stronger hand to it, it probably would not have been a goal, and maybe it also went 0-0. So yeah, Uruguay with having Bielsa as their coach, he's not a bad coach. He's a good coach, but I don't know what's really going on with Uruguay in this World Cup. Is maybe the worst performance I've seen from them so far in a World Cup. But yeah, it's really heartbreaking to see them knocked out of the group stages. And I really thought they were at least gonna make it to the quarterfinals, but it's heartbreaking to see them getting knocked out in the group stage. And Spain, on the other hand, uh, put up a good show and in the opening game against Cabo Verde, they drew 0-0, and many people started hating upon them, starting making memes, started making jokes upon them. But overall, Spain, they are one of the favorites to win the World Cup. They had to come out and show a dominant performance, which they did against Saudi, and now they won against Uruguay. They had the chance to make it 2-0, but Ferran Torres hit the crossbar and it went wide. It went above the goal. So yeah, Ferran Torres hasn't really been impressive in this World Cup, and I hope he really focused on his finishing in the upcoming game. So perhaps he can be of use to the Spanish side in case of an injury or any in a bad case scenario. So yeah, hopefully he improves as well. And but yeah, for Spain top the group, and now we move to the fifth game of the day, Egypt versus Iran. Personally, for me, I think this was the most entertaining game because obviously Iran, Mehdi Taremi missed a pen, and Egypt scored, and then the Iranian fullback Ramin, Ra- Ramin, yeah, he's been r- he's been like cooking for Iran since this World Cup started. He's been absolutely cooking, and uh, you know, he's made assists, he scored goals, and yeah, he's definitely a very key player for them. But Iran, in the dying moments, I think they hit like two crossbars, and the goal that they scored was very a minimal offside decision. Only this toe was offside. Had that Had that been a goal, it would have been absolute scenes. Iran would have confirmed their place into the round of 32. Now they wait for the other results in order to go through to the next stage. So yeah, hopefully it goes in their favor. Now moving on to the last game of the day, being Belgium New Zealand. New Zealand quite disappointing. Belgium really stood out and made a strong display. Kevin De Bruyne, Trossard, all of them had a great game. Lukaku, a minute after coming on, he scored a goal. And Tim Payne, who had who was quite hyped before the World Cup, he's had a quite disappointing World Cup. All of the three games that he played were quite disappointing for him. And New Zealand go home with that, and Belgium topped the group by scoring five against New Zealand. And yeah, hopefully they can put up an even dominant performance in the round of 32. So now let's move to the last six games of the group stages, starting off with Panama versus England. So I think that England in this group, in this game, Panama obviously won't try to go home without a point. They will try to score, but I think England is too strong, and I think they win the game here 2-0, 2-1 perhaps, 2-1 for England. Moving on, second game, Croatia versus Ghana. Croatia, I believe if they don't win, I don't think they have the. I don't think they really qualify to the next stage. So really a do or die moment for them. Even if they want to finish in the third place, I think they need a draw. But Ghana, I won't underestimate them. I think Ghana wins this one 2-1 as well. And moving on to the third game, Colombia versus Portugal. Portugal's defense has been quite shaky. We saw in both games against Congo and Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan really didn't have that firepower up front to score goals. And I think Colombia is quite different. They have quite amazing players like Luis Diaz, Luis Suarez, Munoz, who's basically their top scorer. And yeah, and I think that Colombia actually wins this game um, 3-1 against Portugal. Colombia wins this 3-1, and they're already at the top of the group, and they finish at the top of the group. And moving on to the fourth game of the day, being Congo and Uzbekistan. As yet again a do or die scenario for Congo. They must win this game in order to for a chance to qualify. If they win this game, they go on 4 points, and their qualification is basically confirmed. So yeah, Congo will do everything in their power to win the game, and I think the score will be 1-0 for DR Congo here. Moving on to the fifth game, Algeria versus Austria. It's a quite interesting scenario as both the teams can go forward. Um, the one who wins has to face Spain. If Algeria draw, they face Switzerland. If Algeria lose, they are knocked out of the tournament. So it's definitely gonna be a really interesting game. But I think that Algeria wins the game over Austria, and they win it 1-0 against Austria. Moving on to the final game, Jordan versus Argentina. As we've been seeing in the news, in the updates, we are getting that Lionel Messi will not be starting in this game. He'll be rested. He will probably come on in the second half. But Jordan says they're already eliminated from the World Cup. So I think Argentina will yet again try to put up a dominant performance and keep their good performances keep on going. So I'm gonna predict a 4-0 for Argentina here. And yeah, I think Jordan will suffer against this Argentina side because although they did defend well at times, but with Argentina, I personally think the attack is too strong. They should be scoring more goals against Jordan, but let's see. It's the World Cup. So yeah, this is it for today. Uh, some really interesting games last night. Uh, the drama in Egypt versus Iran and Belgium putting up a dominant performance and France versus Norway. Perhaps more people were disappointed because they were waiting for the Haaland versus Mbappe game, but Haaland was rested and he wasn't even brought on in the second half. I think many people would be disappointed why how they didn't start Holland and maybe the main team. Uh, so yeah, it's really been an interesting day. Some interesting matchups, and even tonight, some really interesting games we have with us. This is the final games of each group stage. This will basically determine the three or four slots remaining in round of 32 to confirm who actually goes through. So yeah, it will be a really interesting final round of the games. And yeah, so far the World Cup has been great and really some nice upsets, some really good games. And yeah, it's World Cup like how it's supposed to be. Fans coming together, cultures coming together, celebrating with each other, having fun. This is what the World Cup is all about, and it's really amazing to see uh, people coming together like this, despite their differences, keeping their differences aside and coming together as football fans to basically to cheer upon their nation and even cheer for the other teams. It's been a really wonderful World Cup. The visuals that are coming from from North America, from Canada, USA, from Mexico, the bonding between fans has been really well, and we hope to see this continuing. And yeah, that's it for today. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully, with the more guys, they will join in tomorrow. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions, don't forget to put them in the comment section. And yeah, that's it for today. Take care. Goodbye, and see you tomorrow.